Hi everyone, I'm hopeful that all you will be fine. In today's session, we will learn how we can audit the user operations using the Zoom REST APIs, okay? Zoom reporting REST APIs. So audit of a user operations means we can see the logs, how we can get the logs actually, okay? That either that user will be an admin or that user may be a sub-account user. So we can get access the logs that which user apply which operations on which date, time, all the things. Okay. So for that, if before we are moving next, that in the last session we have learned how we can get polls and quizzes of the past meetings. Okay, using the Zoom REST APIs. So we have got successfully response. So you can see, you can watch that session from the playlist. Okay. So now in today's session, we are keep moving with the reports API. So we first need to build a operation log const variable for report operation log API endpoint. So we say report operation logs. Okay. And we need to export that. We say operation log, need to format, and inside the helper, we first need to import. So we have already that. So we say operation log. I think we first recheck, so it is operation log. And at the bottom, we are going to implement the helper for that. So we say const operation logs report, okay, async, and we pass the filter, okay. For operations log endpoint, we can use or filter the records as per our need. These are the available filter parameters. So one is a from, and two, it is a date range, okay. So it is a date range, which is the max 1 month, okay. So 1 month data will be pulled maximum. And another parameter is a page size, and the next token, we can use the next token if the records are greater than 300. So page size by default is 30 and max we can use 300. So if the records are greater than 300, then then we have a next page token, and we can use we will use that next page token to request the next records. Okay. And another parameter which we call category type. Okay. So which type of a log or operation logs you want to be fetched. Okay. So there is a available list of category types. We can see that from the Zoom API. So we just need to type Zoom API. So click on API docs link, and then just navigate to the API reference. Click on meetings API and click reports, operation logs report. Okay, and you can here see we have a list of values we can pass as a category type. Okay, to filter the response. So if we pass all, then all of type of logs will be fetched back in our response. But we can also filter that. If we are going to pass the user, then only users log. Okay, user settings log, account, billing, in meeting, recording, phone contacts, webinar, and furthermore. Okay, so we can also filter by using subcategories of logs. Okay, so let's move on. So in the from and to will be in this format, YY and MN DD format. Okay. So first we need to build the URI endpoint. So we are naming it operation logs URI. We use a string interpolation, and we just say API based URI, and then we pass the operation log, and then we are going to building that URI as per available filtered parameters. Okay. So before starting that, I must be mention one thing regarding the API rate limit. Okay. So you can see here is a rate limit heavy. So on the Zoom APIs, where we are requesting multiple times, maybe due to the huge number of records on that available on our Zoom account. So we are keep requesting to fetching or pulling all the records. At that time, we must be keep in our mind that there is API limit on that endpoint. So you have already seen that on this API, we have a heavy. So we can see the heavy API limit applies the count 10 requests per second for the pro account and 40 for the business. So as if an endpoint have a label with a light, then that API endpoint you can request 30 requests per second, okay, and 80 for the business, and medium 20 and 60. So in that way, you must be have this thing keep in your mind. If you are requesting overflowing the request from the as requesting greater than the mentioned rate limit label, then you will get an error in the response. So you must be keeping in that thing in your mind. Okay. So we also place the logic later. So before that, we first build up from default date. So we say from new date, and here we also said that from dot set month. So we set default month from dot get month -1. Okay, and we here pass from, and we check if the filter dot from is available, then we are going to directly passing there. Okay, if there is a no any from, then we are setting default, which we have built it here. Okay, so we are saying from dot to ISO string, and we are just splitting that the t, and you are getting the 0 index value. And then we are also binding the to, and we are setting using the string interpolation. We say if filter dot to is available in the filter, then we are going to use that. If there is a no any filter dot to available, then we are going to say new date and dot to ISO string, and then we are splitting that the t from the response of this string. We are splitting and getting access to the 0, because we keep the date format in this format. Okay, so that's why I'm using ISO string and splitting that by the t. Okay, and then we also pass the category type. Okay, so we just first take if filter dot category type is available, then we are using that. If there is a no query parameter inside the filter dot query filter dot category type, then we are using default all, and we are also using page size as a parameter, and we are first checking that inside the filter if we have a page size, then we are using that. If there is a no any page size, then we are setting default 300. Okay, so max. So let's format this. And now, as I've already mentioned, that you have a keep in a mind regarding the rate limit label of the API. So this API endpoint have a heavy limit. Okay, so we must be keep that thing in mind. Okay, so we say new promise. We are using the promise, and we are saying here async and resolve, reject, and here we are using setTimeout, and we are setting the time. We say we can use 200 for now. Okay, and we are building here do and while. Okay, so that we can pull all the records. Okay, that we can keep requesting until we have got all the records from this endpoint. Okay, so here we say const data, and we say await access, and set URL will be operationLogsUri, method will be get. Okay, and we say headers, and we set header from, just need to copy and paste that here. Okay, and we will say then response, need to return the response. Okay, and here we bind the case, and we say error, need to return the array, okay? And at the bottom, we are now, before that, we must create another object we call operationLogs as an array. And here, we first need to check if data response data object, we have operation logs, okay? So you can see inside the response, if we have operation logs object as an array object, inside the every object have these fields, okay? So action, category type, operation detail, operator who is going to perform, and time, okay, date and time. So we say if in the response we have operation logs, then we are appending that to the operationLogs.concat, and we are just pushing operation logs, okay? And then we must be check data. If data have available next page token, that means if the records are greater than 300, then inside the data we have also next page token. So we are checking here if the next token is available, then we are using filter next page token, and we are assigning that from data to next page token, okay? And if else there is no any next page token, then we are setting filter dot next page token to empty, okay? And here inside the while, we are placing the condition called filter dot next page token, okay? And at the bottom, we are just going to resolve and operation logs, okay? And in the promise, we just say then and response, and we need to return that response, okay? We need to format, and then we are just going to inside the API.js and going to build the endpoint to access that report API integration called operationLogs API zoom / reports, and we say here operation logs, okay? You just need to build the handler. So request response, we just need to first import that. So it is operation. We have not exported, so we first need to export. We say operation logs report, save it. Here we say operation logs report. We here say operation logs and await operation logs report, and we pass request.query, okay? And here just return response.json and say operation logs semicolon, just need to format, save, start the API, okay? Npm start. And I think what is the error? So we do not have a sync, so we need that. We set here async. Okay, now that's clear, and you can start. So we just remove this, continue. We place a breakpoint here, and also here and here, okay? And now just we copy the endpoint from here and navigate to the browser, just open the tab, hit the local host port 4000, paste the endpoint and hit enter. Okay, so we have successfully got the response, okay? But this time we have not passed any query parameters from the browser request. But these parameters are getting from by default. You can see, we can also see that. So we just need to, I think we just continue. Okay, we still not see, so we can here see inside the URI, you can see we have from data range between the 1 month, so 10 to 11, 25, 25, and category type all, and page size 300. Okay, and in the response we have only one record, so that's why not it is getting from here. is operation logs. Oh, so we have missed one more thing. We just assign and then we just continue for now. Control C, M start. Okay, and we now build the query parameters also. So we say from will be 2022, and we say 0701, and we say 2022-08, okay, and 01, okay, and category type we are saying user. So we are going to hit the enter. Okay, so we now need to see inside the data we have a file operations, and you can see from this date to this date. Okay, and we have also category. Okay, so you can see here are the logs type. So we just need to click continue, and we need to now see the URI actually. So we can see, so category type user. Okay, so we have just fetched the record against the user type logs. So I'm hopeful that you have got this session. If you have any query regarding this session, then just please place a comment on place your query inside the video comment section. Either you can also share your queries or suggestions via my shared contact details, either on an email, either on a WhatsApp. Hopefully you have got that. Thank you. Bye bye.